Hi all, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to this damn sport. Should be gone by now, should be gone, and yet it's still here. So I think it's time for a little bit of story time. So then, yes, I am back in the sport. If you've been following this series, then you'll know what I've done to it, how I got it, etc. If you haven't, please go back and watch the other videos, because otherwise a lot of this might not make sense. Anyway, the guy came to buy it, he paid fully, he took the car, and within 2 minutes it decided to throw up a new fault, and that was the suspension. Something that previously worked absolutely perfectly decided to throw up wobbly. What's annoying about the sport model compared to the 322, the full fat version, when you have a suspension fault on the other version, i.e. a sensor goes or something like that, what it will try and do is pump all the bags up to full height with a warning light on the dash. So if you have a problem, you can safely pull off, or you can safely get home or get to the garage and it's not a problem. Not so in the 320 and the Disco. What that does is just slowly collapse. It gives you a warning and collapses quite quick actually, so you haven't got much time to pull off and stop. Really bad design flaw that. I don't know why they did that for this one, changed it up, but there we go. So what I'm going to do now is try and fix it for the bloke, because fair play to him, he still wants the car, he understands it's an older car with issues. I couldn't prove it to him, but obviously this issue wasn't present when I sold it, you know. He still wants it, and I've agreed to fix it for him. He's just sent a part for me. I told him what part to get. But I want to show you how I diagnosed it with this bad boy. I've mentioned this one before, the King Bolan OBD reader. They sent this for free, just full disclosure. I'm really pleased with this one. I've had a few OBD readers over the years, different versions. They've sent some before, even touchscreen versions. But this, for me, is the best OBD reader I've ever had, and I just wanted to feature in a video again and show you how I diagnosed the problem, how I'm going to fix it, and how I can recalibrate the suspension using this. Typically, the car's been sat for a week and now the fault doesn't seem to be present, but it is there, trust me. Now, you can see down there, I've plugged in the little thing into the OBD reader, which is in a really awkward place on Range Rovers, but there you go. I'm going to switch this thing on, and then I'm going to open up my phone, go to the app, which is the eDiag app, and then I can pretty much go straight in there and start doing all system diagnostics. I could do a VIN scan, so it's running the VIN scan now. It will find out very quickly that it's a Land Rover. And diagnosis starting. So compared to a lot of other systems, this normally takes a lot longer. I think mainly because this is based off of, you know, my phone, which is the latest iPhone. Ooh, but pretty much any. There you go already. Pretty much any modern phone is better internally in terms of processing power and RAM than most of the devices you can buy, the standalone devices. So it kind of makes sense this is a lot quicker. So if I go system selection, ride level control module, see if there's any fault codes. There's none because I cleared them last time I was in the car, so we know that's working. But if I read the data stream, this is really handy, and I'll go down to the height. You can see that there's a bit of weirdness going on here. I mean, the car's fairly level, but it's showing all these weird numbers. Now, I'll flash up on screen the faults that I got, and they're basically saying to me that the front right corner height sensor is dodgy. After a few, less than a few hundred yards, it flashes up the error because it doesn't know what's going on. And what it's basically saying is then that the pressure across the rear left and the front right, it can't quite work out the height, and that's probably because the front right is showing a weird up and down number, and then it sends everything else out of whack. So what I've done is I've got a front right height sensor. I had the same issue when my mum was 322. It was really easy to fix. Like, I didn't even have to jack the car up on the 322. On this I probably will, but yeah, I'm hoping that fixes it. Symptoms wise, as I say, it beeps at you, the red light comes up which shows you the body control thing, and then the car just sinks. And to be fair, when we were first having this issue, the front wasn't raising properly either, and the rear left was really high. It was like it was trying to compensate for something. So it was all a bit weird, and yeah, getting it home was a bit of a laugh, because it was near my house, where he actually finally gave up trying to get it to work and called me and said, I need help. So yeah, it got fairly far before we had to get it back, so we had to keep stopping the car, restarting it, so it raised just enough to drive a bit more, then stopping it, restarting. So good fun. Anyway, I'm going to fit this sensor. The thing I'm worried about is I have to do the calibration, and the calibration is very difficult if you're not on flat ground, which literally nowhere within a few miles of here is flat. Even my unit, the floor, looks like, you know, it's like from Pompeii or something. It's really bad. So I'll give it a go, and I think with my mum's one, I managed to get it done. It could be that I put the sensor in and it works straight away. I doubt that'll be the case, but luckily, thanks to this bad boy, I can go in and look at the calibration and look at the values and dick around with it. So let's see. The door's open. Why is the air suspension adjusting? Safety first. Right, there she is, sports fans. Just a couple of bolts. It's already been off recently. Switch that out for another one, play around with the suspension, go for a drive, see how it works. Well, in typical Range Rover Sport fashion, not 322 Sport, I'm blaming the Sport for this, two different parts. You can see the bolt holes are a bit different and things like that. Thing is, I don't know where the bloody part number is on this, where it's meant to be. This f***ing car, man. The plot thickens with this one. Did ask on the Range Rover group, there's a sort of 50-50 on this, because pins are different. You can't really see it. There's 6 pins in there. There's 3 in this. However, in this, it only has 3 wires. And it does come with this adapter. So I guess it's worth giving it a go. Sort of cobbling it together, throwing it in there, putting the wheels back on, taking it for a drive, recalibrating, because, I mean, this is really graunchy and horrible. I've tried spraying it, but doesn't feel very good in there. I'm guessing all the oil that was pouring down here killed it, maybe, and it took a while to manifest itself. Yeah, I'm going to play with this because it's all apart. I may as well try, eh? Yes, I've tried getting these out. They're completely rounded off. The kit comes with more bolts, so they're just going to get grounded off with a happy wheel. Right, bit cleaned up, wire brushed and brake cleaned and stuff. I got that other thing off. Bit of a grind mark there, but it'll be fine. And then the next step, I'm just going to spray it with a bit of high temp or whatever paint I've got laying around. I think I've got some high temp there, that might work, or I've got some Hammerite. May as well. There you go, that's a bit less rubbish, isn't it? And if you're wondering why I'm using like a high temp paint, it's, well, if I haven't already explained, it's because that's what I have for kicking around. Also, you can spray it on and it flashes off and dries like almost instantly, especially if you throw a heat gun at it like I've done with that. I got it really nice and hot, sprayed it, and yeah, it's dry, so I can put it on straight away pretty much. Not that I will, because I've got to assemble brackets and stuff, but you know, it just looks a bit nicer, doesn't it? Just a bit nicer. Right, zero calibration's been done. It's a Chinese height sensor that needed an adapter to fit. I'm just going to start it and see how bad it goes. Low washer fluid. Let's see what it says on here, I guess. Normal height selected, let's see what happens. Well, it says it's risen. I'm just going to go for a drive and see what happens, and I'll report back. Probably it'll break. Okay, no faults yet. I did it for a quick drive. You can see the height's a bit wonky. I'm just going to run this, check for faults, and then also I'll have a look at the outputs for the sensors, because I'm a bit confused. Maybe it needs to go for a longer drive before it flags the fault up, but I'm sure this shouldn't work. And I don't want the guy to come all the way back down from the north, pick it up, go another 100 metres and it break again, you know, because that's no fun for anyone, so... Drives well though, it's not smoking anymore, which is nice. That's interesting. It's saying there is a fault, but it's working, so I don't really know. Maybe if I... Let me run the diagnostic on this flattest bit of ground I could find, which is still wonky. Progress here. I've done the first bit of calibration. It's now going into off-road mode. It will then get me to do the measurements again, and then hopefully it will say it's calibrated, and then I'll go for another drive and see how that works. There you go. So what it will do is it will tell me, yeah, okay. So now I've got to go in the front left and measure and all this stuff. So I'll do that off camera and be back in a sec. Right, so unlike last time when I did this, when the sensor was definitely faulty, it actually let me calibrate it on the same bit of ground I tried last time. So, a little bit more hope, I guess. Do you know what the height sensors are going to say? Oh, that looks a bit better. That's more like it. Right, I'm going to go for a drive in standard mode and just see what happens. See if it cracks again or not. Right, so I'm just going back into this, reading the fault codes. I went on a drive, no faults. The height is looking good on the diagram here. It wasn't doing anything weird. I've stopped. It's not too high in one corner like it was before at the rear. I think I might have fixed this. I'd be very happy if I have, because nothing's easy on this car. I'll give it a go. Right, so I guess that's it then. It's working. The suspension goes up and down, it doesn't show faults. I've given it a good drive round and everything seems okay. So yeah, I guess it's fair to say thanks again to King Bolan for this thing. As ever, link in the description below. It's an Amazon affiliate link. I get a penny or so every time someone buys using it, so maybe I'll be able to use it to buy some gloves or some consumables or whatever. A couple of you go and buy it, but genuinely I think this is the best OBD reader I've used so far anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully one last video on this now. Do like and subscribe and check out my other social media channels and things like that.